I'm Z Clark, and today I want to talk to you about stereotypes, the elephant in the room, the thing that we don't talk about, but as Black people at work, we're always wondering, do they think I'm less intelligent? Do they think I'm less qualified? Do they think I'm a diversity hire? What do they think of me? Do they believe all the stereotypes out there? I'm Z Clark, and this is our time to breathe. So what are the stereotypes that we believe are at work? Well, I already mentioned a couple. That we're the diversity hire, that we're not qualified. There's the angry Black woman stereotype. There's a stereotype that we're lazy. They might assume that we are poor and so many other things. And just knowing and thinking that these stereotypes are out there can be very, very stressful. And so I want to introduce you to a framework. It's Byron Katie's The Work. That is 4 questions of inquiry that help us around a limiting belief. And so the limiting belief here is my colleagues believe in all the stereotypes. So here are the 4 questions. Question number 1, is it true? Well, I mean, generally I'm like, yeah, yeah, they do. My colleagues do believe in the stereotypes. Okay. Question number 2, can you absolutely know that this is true? That they believe the stereotypes? That all of your colleagues? And the answer is probably no. You can't know that all of your colleagues believe all of the stereotypes. Okay. Question number 3. How do you react when you believe this thought that my colleagues believe the stereotypes? What emotions come up? What images of the past and present come up? And how do you treat yourself? Now, typically, at least for me, I get angry that these stereotypes exist. I get really anxious. I'm always like walking on eggshells. I'm like, well, I need to perform even more. Sometimes for some of us, it actually is the drive to prove them wrong. And for others of us, we hide our personality. We get more timid. All right, what is it for you? Question number 4. Who would you be without this thought? If you did not have the thought that your colleagues believed these stereotypes, who would you be? For me, I would be more confident. I would be more natural. I would be able to shine and show who I really am and what I'm capable of. What is it for you? And the last step is to turn it around. And you can do that by just simply taking the opposite of that limiting belief. So if the limiting belief is my colleagues believe in the stereotypes, well then the opposite of that is my colleagues do not believe in the stereotypes. Say that out loud. My colleagues do not believe in the stereotypes. And think about how that makes you feel. You might also change it and say, my colleagues think I'm amazing. How would you act if you believed that statement? You could also change who the subject is in the statement. I don't believe in the stereotypes. And walk around acting like that. Or, I am amazing. So there's so many ways that you can turn it around. But here are some tools that can help you in the face of stereotypes. The first is affirmations. When you write an affirmation, it should be present tense. It might turn a negative into a positive. And it should be short and sweet. And lastly, research shows that if you say your name rather than I, it actually is much more effective. So an example for me, I always give the violin example because I have insecurities about my ability to do improvisation with violin. Z is amazing at violin improv. So write yours. And now put it in your calendar so that it pops up as notifications, as regular notifications. Maybe it's once a day in the morning, maybe it's once a week, but something changes in your brain when you actually see that, when it changes how you feel about yourself, because through repetition, you start to believe it. Okay. Another thing you can do is to breathe. If in the moment somebody says something to you that actually is kind of like making you feel like they're putting you in a box and saying that you are the stereotype, in the moment I invite you to take an extra long exhale. Do it with me. Just, right? So you can do that, and that calms your nervous system, and that allows you to react from your highest self so that you don't, say something that you might regret, so you don't make a face. I always make faces. So affirmations. an extra long exhale, and the last breathing technique I want to share with you is for anxiety. Because if you constantly feel like, oh, what's going to be in my performance review? What are they thinking about me? What's going to happen? Do they think I'm not smart enough? All that stuff. Often it makes us not even able to sleep. And so I invite you to practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. You inhale for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 7, and you exhale for a count of 8. And you can find videos to practice this live with me on my YouTube channel. So, good luck out there, and believe in yourself, because those stereotypes have nothing to do with you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, or if you think others might find value in it, feel free to share, like, and subscribe.